Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. How is everybody? Hello, Russell, Gary, Gabriel, Juicy. Got the usual group chatting away there. Indy, good afternoon. How are you? All right. I forgot to bring a sweater today, so I am freezing. I don't know why I was optimistic that the temperature was going to be like 36 degrees today, and all I can hear is wind. So I have my coffee, or what's left of it anyway. And we'll get cooking. We should be able to finish a couple pens today. Start a couple new ones that people were inquiring on purchasing that I picked up in Baltimore. And then I have a fun little side project that we could take a look at that is something you won't see very well. I've only seen two in 20 some years. So is the wind blowing the snow around a lot? Yeah, it's I mean, it's not too bad, but I mean, I can literally hear it out my back because there's a door right behind me. So I can hear that. The drifts aren't too bad, so put on the smoking jacket. I am still waiting. I kid you not. Like last week, I emailed the dealership. I said, "What is the deal? Where's my tire? Where's the other piece for my car that you're supposed to fix?" "Oh, well, those came in, but I was out last week," is what they told me last week. And they were waiting to get the piece in so that they could put the tire on and the piece in the engine compartment on the cowl at the same time. Well, great. Now they're both in. When can I come? I mean, it's been a week now, so come on. But once we do that, the smoking jacket is within reach. Lisa really wants to go. So, but we're not leaving. And you know, now it's crappy weather. The streets are horrible. They're plowed, but they're like, there's ridges. So it's like running over railroad tracks for like 3 miles to get here. And Lisa's mom's coming tomorrow, so we're actually I'm gonna probably try to close up here. Is if I get a good stopping point a little bit early, I might close early. Just so we can get, do the last minute things, get the house cleaned up, picked up a little bit. Because she comes in tomorrow afternoon. We'll go straight from here to the airport to pick her up. So. You might be fine with the snow. It's 92 degrees. Below that north. Below that north. It's not too bad. It's just, the plows haven't really kept up, and it was so cold yesterday that everything was frozen. So next couple of days it should be a lot better. All right, let's take a look at what we got on the bench. Let's focus the camera, maybe. That would be helpful. There we go. So we keep trying this pen, and it's not leaking. So I suspect the big problem was perhaps I tried it at 9:05 a.m. It's now 2:03. No leaking. All right. All right, first up today, I want to finish this, or at least I want to keep moving forward on this snorkel. And this one we're gonna give a little extra little extra heat treatment and see if we can get this thing apart, because it should be a pretty straightforward repair, but it's not. It's anything but. So we'll start with this one. We'll move to this, and then we've got the vest pocket Duofold, the senior, and the stripe Duofold. Then after that, I've got an Oversize Balance, a Chalana to test, and a little special something. So if we want to get that far, I'm going to stop talking and start working. Because I do like to work on my own stuff. I never used to do it, and since I've started doing it this past year, it has been a lot of fun. Okay, well, this is not in quite the right way. I thought maybe it was, but we're just going to get this in, and then we're going to reset it. Oh, excuse me. I actually was able to get Lisa to accept that Parker Jotter yesterday. She was real pleased to get it, actually, because it was, of course, it was her birthday. In addition to everything else going on with the pen. She must have been real tired because there was no arguing whatsoever. I said, well, I'm going to take you out to dinner, and I got a gift for you, but I'm not going to give it to you until after we have ordered our food. So we get in, the waitress says, can I get you something to drink? And she says, well, I'll have something hot, have a hot chocolate. And so, yeah, that sounds good. Let's have that. And she says, does that count as ordering? And apparently, when she was 16 years old, she got up early so she could watch the royal wedding. So she thought it was the coolest thing. Let the old wide open could say the wedding of Elizabeth and Philip. Well, almost there. Let's. Charles and Diana. Yeah, Charles and Diana. King Charles, as it is. It's just a little hair out, so I'm going to. An online auction in Sydney yesterday. You're interested in one of the lots with 4 vintage pens. The other lots you thought would be expensive. You bought 4 lots. Well, that's kind of how it works. Sometimes you get lucky. Citizen Chuck. Yeah. It's still a little bit off. $70 fountain pens, pens and pencil, but most were fountain pens. One lot was 12 Parkers for $160. Wow. All right. Brits do know how to create a spectacle. Isn't that something, huh? It's a cool pen. Interestingly enough, we couldn't find a copy of it anywhere, which I thought was kind of strange. Bought another desk set last night. The barrel is blue and white sorrel with the taper being brown. You're buying a whole lot of desk sets there, buddy. I haven't had time to look, quite frankly. I get tired of seeing the same listings on eBay all the time. I long for the days when it costs people to list things. You get one free list and then and then you gotta either drop the price or you gotta do something about it. But there have been things on eBay for months and months and months and months. trying to get this to fill. It's sort of filling. Problem with this tube. You got a green stripe back. That looks better. You're picking up another malt block of 14 to keep the 84 company. It's not filling the way I would like it to fill. There's a couple scratch marks on the section, but I'm going to go get another, see if I get another section. I think they're scratches, but you can just never be too careful. Well, almost all of them have some kind of scratch or something to them. Plain water. Did Brian finish repairing all vintage pens in existence? No. There's another one there. Not quite. I just want one that doesn't have any, because you can never tell. I want one without any scratches. They pretty much all have the same marks. Well, this one doesn't look too bad. That's a possibility. I think this is the one I want, though. That's the one I want. We're going to transfer over that threaded part. Since it was on the original pen, didn't think to do that before. How many versions of the PFM are there? What are there? 8? 7, 8, something like that. Transfer that gasket. This had a crack. It didn't. A little bit of distortion to the tray, to the barrel here. I love snorkels when they go right. When they don't go right, I hate them. So new section, it's got some of the old sealant kind of dried up on here, which is making it complicated to close. You just sent me a message on email, Glenn. Oh, Glenn, Patrician. Jade green. Lever box looks good. Pretty hefty discoloration on the cap. And on the barrel end. Great description. Well, that's a good price. Currently that's a really good price on that set. There we go. All right. I'm going to ink this one up. And then I think I want to put a little bit of sealant on that tube just to make sure it's pretty tight, but this thing is a pain to open. You seem to be accumulating a lot of vintage pencils from buying pen lots. Does anyone know what the marketplace is like? Is there demand? There might be demand if it's a quality pencil. If it's not a big five, don't expect much. I mean, you know, I occasionally can get $75 for a really, really, really good pencil. The larger, the better. Wonder if maybe Lisa's mom will arrive with a handmade green smoking jacket. No. She's pretty good, but she's not going to be doing that. You'll probably end up being a pencil collector. I mean, you know, some are okay, but if it's like if it's totally a third tier pencil, hang on, I gotta see what that was. I think it was just snow. Probably snow falling off the roof. You know, especially if they're third tier pencils, don't bother yourself with them. You picked up the same things you did. You must be learning something here. The price was concerning me. Well, you know, I mean, I'm not going to tell people where that was, so you know, but I would expect that to quadruple in price at least. Yeah, with the snow from the storm, it must be a worry on the roofs. Yeah. I can't even open the door, and I normally go out that door. Um, if I was a smoker, it would be great. It's a great smoking door, but I go out there and have a protein bar. So it's, I guess in my 20s, it would have been a smoking door. Now it's a protein bar door. I guess that tells you what age is doing to me. You're getting a lot of old gold and silver ones, some with overlays. If they're actual overlays over hard rubber, then they're absolutely worth keeping. If they're like, brass and nickel, there's not a huge market for them, sadly. But if they're sterling or, really good gold fill, then that's another story altogether. All right. Oh, okay. Crap. I don't think I need to seal this. I really don't. I mean, you really need. I might call that done and dusted. I mean, normally you seal it for two reasons. One, you seal it to make sure that the barrel is nice and tight. And two, you seal it because you don't want anybody opening it up. But there's no way. No, nobody's opening this up. I'm not even going to seal it up. Of course, now I have to because the tube shifted. Shift. It did. If the tube was okay, I would just leave it. But now I can't even get it open. So we know it writes. We know it fills. Oh my god. Oh, there's more snow. Mm. Really does not want to move. Your excitement for April Fool's Day is resurgery. You're hoping the surgeon has no sense of humor. Do urologists have a sense of humor? That is a very good question. Really wish I could get this open again. There we go. The 53 calendar can be used for this year. It was a good year for Corvette fans. Sadly, my Duofold, my big Duofold double desk set doesn't have the original calendar on it. All right, we're going to let that soak. We're going to try this again. These pens are notoriously difficult to get apart, so am going to use section pliers on it. That is an unnatural amount of force to get that off. Oh, interesting. So that acts as it squeezes the sack a little bit. We're going to soak this. Actually, I need to change my water. I want to see how dirty this is, so give me just a second. I have to remember to check the bucket before I refill it, because sometimes I overflow it. Okay. All right, well, we're going to have to let that sit. I don't know why that was. ton of jamming up. J-bar looks good. All right, so that will wait. We're going to move on to assembly of these guys. All right. So this is a kind of a chaotic looking tray, but it'll start to go together quickly. Yeah, I can't be collecting Parker Dessets. I've got one. Two. DeBerg. Not familiar with it. Which is not a good indicator. A little mark right there in the cap. So I think that is going to be where we're going to, and it happens to be equidistant of pretty equidistant. But it's not quite. So if it was going to hide those little marks, then I would say put it on the front. But since it doesn't, put it on the back. Okay. A certain fountain pen store's Instagram account just recommended people clean their fountain pens with WD-40. Hope that goes well for... That's insane! No. Why would you... No, don't do that. Yeah, that sounds like bad advice. Heck, I want to see that. I want to see that Instagram account. Is that an April Fool's joke? I mean, we're 2 weeks away here. Lucky Star pens, and they're cleaning a Franklin Christoph pen with it, but they don't say don't use it with other pens. I don't know why you would use it at all. That's weird, right? Does Franklin Christoph endorse the use of WD-40 to clean their pens? Oh, that's weird. That's very weird. I guess I don't want to fill the pens up with microgloss, do I? I kind of want to use little Watermans on them. This one is really hard to fill from the bottle. It will help their pen service department, yeah. Look how small this is. I'm not going to post it. It fills well. It fills really well. I'm not familiar with Lucky Star pens. Well, this is a nice writing senior Duofold. Like it. The owner is going to be very happy with that one. Gabriel, man, you're going nuts. Is it now too late to tell you that there are multiple variations on that wherever 14 karat nib? There are different imprint variations on that one. Oftentimes that plastic, it might as well be plastic. That gold nib is so thin, the nibs are just totally screwed up. At least almost every single one that I've ever come across. You've seen, yeah. You've seen the imprint variations. There might be 3, maybe? At least 2. I don't think it's worth collecting all the different variations, but especially if people are trying to sell those nibs, those pens at higher prices because of gold content. This one, I think I'm going to shellac the section in It's a little loose, so, but we can do that after we give this a nice test. Oh, wowza. Flexible. That is very nice. And unfortunately, I don't think that's what my client is really interested in. So this might not actually work out for him. Which is good news for everybody else that might be interested in this. It also means the price goes up, sadly. All right, let's I'm gonna spin these out. Seal that section. Then we can move on to some fun stuff. Well, not that this wasn't fun. It's always nice to have dual folds that go back together. And do we think this is gonna fit in here? Man, I love this. I love this new salad spinner. Especially that stop button. Just take that out just so I don't screw something up. You need to find a cap for a Duofold. Hopefully you can get one that matches as the color fades. What color you're looking for? Black and pearl? Jade? Boy, that's a good looking pen. All right. Done and dusted on those guys. So I have three completely different pens up next. But first, I want to take a look at this section in the ultrasonic here. Not having a nib to work with here makes this a little bit difficult, but I'm going to drop it in here. And that should hopefully clean out anything that's in there. All right, next up. Big, small, and a little something fun. So we got Oversize Balance. Somebody inquired on this. We got a Sailor Chalana, which I need to test. And clean up a little bit. It's not a perfect specimen, but it is a cool pattern. These aren't difficult to find. They're just, there's not like an abundance of parts, I would say. So this one I've got an original cartridge for. We're going to refill. Oh, you got a red Lucky Curve? No, that shouldn't be hard. They're pretty easy to. So this actually has some ink in it. So I hate to puncture it, but I don't have any other means of. Means of testing it. Maybe there is no ink in it. Got a little bit of curve to it too. This is where I need, if I have it. I can never find it when I need it, and now is definitely the time I need it. My we sell an extra long needle to go on your syringe. The end of it, I just ended up accidentally pushing halfway down the stinking tube, which is too narrow to get in there. It's too short. I'll have to come up with something. Or push it all the way down. That's the other option, I suppose. It's a shame this doesn't go down there. All right, well, it's mostly cleaned out. We'll fill it with some water mints. All right, we got the ink flowing. These you almost need to post. There we go. A little bit of water on there, so that's why it's a little bit. Yeah, that works. I'm gonna put it in the ultrasonic. Arnold lever filler just arrived. You know, Arnold was the same man who made Edison pens in the 20s. Oh, I would love to get that out of there. How the heck am I going to get that out? Let's see if I can straighten this out. Put a little hook on there and see if we can pull that out. So just like the disc on pilot cartridges that you don't need to have in there if you're going to continue to refill them. So I got my piece of tape on here so I can see this, but I need it to be smaller. Awfully squirrely to hang on to though. Never know what you need these little wires for. All right, so I don't think you can see this, but I've managed to pull it out. And there it is. We just don't need it in there. It's going to plug everything up if it gets pushed the wrong way. There is that. That's good. Well, I wish I had a converter for this thing. Still a little ink in there. I'm going to just keep, I don't know if it's old ink or new ink or what it is. Pull that one back in there. Let's get this senior Duofold open, and then we can, once we get that open, we can look at the special pen of the week here. I know it's killing you, right? I do want to see if I can get, there's a little corrosion on the trim. See if I can polish that off. All right. Early model, short section, humped clip. Really a good looking pen. But this isn't doing anybody any good, so we're gonna. And this is, again, one of those pens I brought home from Baltimore. I showed those off about a week ago or so. If there was anything in there that you were interested in, let me know. And I will start to work on it. Otherwise, I can just get to them when I get to them. So yeah, this one we're going to dump in here. Clean out this area here first because it's what you're going to see every time you open it up. Throw the cap in there. All right. So while those pieces are soaking, I will show you this piece. I got this in from, it came in a package that I got. Actually, I think it came in on Saturday. From England. And it's a known variant. I'll tell you first off, well, maybe I should have you guess. It's a known variant that I've been looking for at least 20 years. Let me put it back together here so then I'll show it to you. Without showing you the imprint, now it is not without problems. The section is cracked and it's missing the cap. Nice knurling on the end here. Nice chasing. You can see a little notch there. Over and under feed. I'll hold my hand over the imprint. Interesting section in that it unscrews here and not here like I would have expected it to. Anybody want to take a guess what this is? And why is this important? And I'll give you a hint. It came from the UK. And why would I want it? Yeah, hey, David, how are you? Yeah, you know. You might be the only one that's not asleep here today. Swan. Not a bad guess, but it is not correct. David already knows, so it's not fair that he guesses. It is English. It is made by one of the big English manufacturers. You just stop in five for a few minutes before cooking dinner. Yeah, it's cleaned up real nice. And in and I was like, how am I going to get this nib out? I was actually able to just pull out from the front, thankfully, because the back half of the feed is only that much. That's the whole feed. I mean, this thing looks almost like it was hand carved. So irregular in there. Over under feed, the nib sits in there. Conway Stewart, you're getting closer. It's not a Conway. And Lisa hates this game. Just tell me. But there's the feed. And we're going to clean up the nib today. Because I really wanted to read what the nib says. I'll let you off the hook. Yeah, it does look handmade. It looks handmade. And I'm glad it came out the front, because I would have been horrified to try to knock this out from the back. It might have broken. This is made by Onoto. That's made by De La Rue. Yeah, Lisa hates surprises. Yeah. And it is what is called, I'll show you the imprint on the barrel. It is an Esterbrook gold relief. In quotes. There's another look at the section now that I've got it out. So it resembles your Onotos. But unfortunately, like I say, the section is cracked and there's no cap. When I was offered the pen, I thought, you know what? I have a pen in my parts bin that I think I can steal the section from and the cap from, and it would be the same. And I would be most certain that they would be interchangeable. Unfortunately, it was not the correct size. And I'm going to take a look at the nib now. I just want to see what the imprint says. It's very dirty. It is heavily worn, but it does say, I'm sure it said R. Esterbrook. It said Esterbrook and Companies. Interesting. Relief 14 karat. Not 314 like I would expect it to say. I could turn a simple cap just to protect the nib. I'm going to keep looking. I looked a little bit yesterday, but I don't always have. Yesterday was such a busy day. I don't always have time for pet projects, but this one, we got it. It actually had a different cap, and there was a heavy layer of electrical tape around the barrel built up so that the new cap could fit on the nib. And as much as some people really want patina, I want this clean because it's detracting from the otherwise. Lynn Sorgat's chasing machine still exists too, and so an exact reproduction could be possible if the current owner ever gets them set up. I'm wondering if the original cap wasn't unchased. I think I have. I only know of one other of these. And actually, I have a picture of it on my website. I have a picture of it on a website, and the original cap is not chased. For those in the chat, I don't know why I can't. Well, I've got it on the YouTube side. I couldn't quite get it in the. I don't know why Twitch won't let me paste a chat there, but the original cap on the other one was a plain cap. Which is good because the chance of finding just a plain straight cap is probably reasonably high. But I got a few pens to look through first. I was a little disappointed that the ones I had weren't the right ones. But I wanted to at least clean that feed, clean off the nib so you can read it. It has a breather hole on it, which is interesting. Making one would be relatively easy. Yeah, I would think so. But like I say, I've been looking for one. They're not incredibly... I mean, probably the last 10 years, my focus was not on collecting Esterbrookes. It was on running a business. So I really wasn't looking that hard, but you know, it's possible one of them could show up every year at the, you know, any one of the London pen shows. But I doubt it. The nib's a little tweaked, but it's fairly thin, so there's no way I'm going to be like trying to fix it. I just want it. It still has tipping, which is good. And there's a close-up. It's a very unusual nib, too. You can see the top portion is kind of worn off in here. But it's got kind of a carved shank there. I still have some crud on there. I want to get that off because you're going to see that with this. Well, I wonder if that was some iron gall or something on there. And interestingly enough, this is interesting. Where it was worn on the top, you can see the stamping on the underneath. So that's the R and the E from relief, and on the top here, R Esserbrook. I wonder if there was some India ink or something used on this. Ah, the tipping is broken off on the left tine. And it looks like there's actually some wear to the gold. It's very, very weird looking. Like this part that looks darker than the rest is actually, I don't think it's ever going to get any better. There's actually a smidge of tipping left. So, you know, if one was going to be stupid enough, you could grind it. It's one of those pens where being non-functional really doesn't influence, but yeah, there's zero effect on the value. It's sort of like twist fillers. If they work, great. If they don't, great. I mean, with twist fillers, you don't even have to have the knob, and you can still sell the pen. I mean, probably one of the last twist fillers I sold for $400. And it didn't even have the knob. It's a pretty heavy layer of ink on there. You can't really see it on my finger, but I can get. I can scrape it off. I think what I'm going to do is I might polish that too, just for fun. Make it easier to get in the section just a little bit easier. And it just kind of slides into place, and it's that's where it goes. That's as far down as it goes, so it's like really right at the tip. There you go. There you have it. What's the going rate for a VisuMaster? A lot depends. First generation, second generation, third generation. I assume first or second. First generation, most desirable. Just going to kind of clean this out a little bit. Color matters a lot. Red, blue, green, copper. Yeah, it's first generation. Yeah. You know, red and blue. Well, blue is typically a little bit darker, but green, copper, I think the most desirable. They're vibrant. They should be around the 350 range. I'm not even factoring in whether or not it has the correct frosted nib. I mean, that's sort of extra bonus points. You just bought our Esterbrook Relief #1 hard rubber. I sent you an email of my Onoto, which is similar, but not Esterbrook. Yeah, similar. Same, pretty much the same section. But yours is probably way bigger. This is actually a fairly slender pen. The cracked ice from the same seller had the frosted nib that should have been in the VisuMaster. Yeah. So I really think that finding the parts for this pen is entirely possible. Unfortunately, the section's a little out of round, so I'm going to kind of put it in where it fits best. But it's got that cutout shank, and you can kind of see where it's cut out, and from the back, that's about as far as it would have gone in, because this is pretty close to almost all the entire lip, because there's a little bit of a so I could probably heat this up and then flip it around, but at this point, it really doesn't matter. You got to run. Have a great night. Enjoy your dinner. What I need to do Yeah, I mean, it needs to go here. I think it's got single start thread, so it needs to go there so it lines up with the imprint. But yeah, so that's my find of the week. Actually, you know what? I don't like this. I'm going to pull this out. I would like it to go on this side, but it doesn't line up. So we'll line it up that way. But I got to believe I can find a new section for this and the subsequent cap. I just need to find enough Onotos. It's not terribly thin, but it's thinner than the other ones that I have. Although I'm not certain because I've got plunger fillers. I don't have eyedroppers, so I need to find an eyedropper to get the right section. So anyway, that's about as far as we're going to go on this pen. I'm not going to bother cleaning out the inside of the barrel. But it's a pretty, I would call that rare. All right. Looks good. Just for fun, my water's heating up a little bit, so I'm just going to put this barrel in the water for a second. So these typically have real thin plating. I might get a little bit of something off here. Yeah, it's present on the two bands in the middle. You got to head off to the gym. All right, Gary. Have a good workout. I'm getting some of it off, but I really don't think it's gonna do much difference. You can feel a little bumpiness on the trim, and I think that's what's coming off. Probably about as good as it's going to be. It doesn't look terrible. All right. All right, we'll clean up this. I don't think this needs to be knocked out. I clean it off before I put my mouth on it, though. Nib and the feed look set really well, so I'm not going to bother to. If it blows through okay, then we're not going to disturb that. All right, let's see how this is. Works out pretty well. We're going to come back to that. Let's just out of curiosity. Yeah, this sack is totally crunchy, but now at least we've got we need apparently a huge sack on this guy. Gotta be a 22. Might be the only time in my life I've ever had to use a 22. Well, that's not true. Oh, it might even be bigger than a 20. It's so... It's almost exactly length. Yeah, that's about right. Very peculiar writing instrument. Well, let's try this and see what happens. Kind of hard to get under this lever here. Really don't understand how this pen works. I suppose the nib fits in here. It somehow activates. There's no airflow going through here, so. Well, we're going to let that sit. I mean, that may be all there is to it. Maybe there's some pressure activated bit on there. I don't think I even have I might have a nib for this. I'll have to look. All right. Got some residue on the inside here. Okay. This one was in a weird environment too. I doubt these 32s are. Way too big. Way too big. Close though, not too big. A little talc on there, make it easy to go in. Well, that's probably it. The end of the bar probably ends there because it's such a extreme taper on here. With the light. Yeah, the whole back half is solid. Yeah, this whole back half is solid beyond the bar. So the sack looks small, but it's the right length. It's still a good size sack. I use a 19. Probably, I mean, you could probably squeeze a 20 in there, but I don't think that that's the best course of action. Your body, your hand, heat from your hand will heat that up and it will leak like nobody's business. All right. All right, well, talc on there. I'm going to spin this cap out because this cap is in the water real quick. That should do. That's pretty clean. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Thursday. I think I am getting a pen coming in tomorrow, so we'll work on that if that shows up. We're gonna reassemble that snorkel tomorrow. We'll assemble this. We'll assemble that speedball. See if I can find a nibber on here to see how that works. I probably have something, but I don't know. And then we'll figure out what we're gonna do for the rest of the time. And that'll be it for the week. Podcast on Friday is normal, 1:30. So that's all I got today. I think that's a good stopping point. Oh, I'm gonna, just for fun, quick test this. Let's see. Let's go back to the. $4.30. I'm thinking this problem was as simple as the converter not being in place correctly. Because then it's not locked in place and it might jostle around. But we'll look at it again tomorrow. That's good. That's not needing anything too exciting. So that's it. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. Have a good rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. And be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow, right? Take care, everyone.